Welcome in to Radio After Rain, a space where the storms are never ignored, but neither is the sun that follows. Here we honor the heart that still beats bravely after breaking, the soul that keeps rising even when it doesn't have all the answers. Whether today you feel tender, tired, or glad you're here. This is where we heal one honest word at a time. So exhale, settle in, and let's begin. You ever feel like the hardest part about healing is convincing yourself that you're worthy of staying? I've been there, in the ruins of everything I thought would last, carrying the echoes of footsteps that walked away. Abandonment leaves more than an empty space. It leaves questions, fears, and a craving to be chosen without conditions. But what if I told you that healing started the moment I stopped begging for someone to stay, to choose, instead, to stay for myself? This episode is about overcoming the fear of abandonment, leading with faith, and rebuilding that sacred place within where love, real love, can finally live. Let's talk about what it means to choose yourself without apology and trust that God never leaves us, even when others do. There was a time I would embrace myself for loss the moment I felt something good. Joy always came with a shadow, this quiet whisper in the back of my mind saying, "Don't get too comfortable." That whisper had the voice of past goodbyes, of love that felt conditional, of people who left and didn't look back. Abandonment is not always loud. Sometimes it's a silence after the phone doesn't ring. It's the text left unread. It's watching someone slowly stop choosing you. Piece by piece, it creates this deep, aching question that echoes, what did I do wrong? And when that question goes unanswered for too long, it turns inward. I must not be enough. But here's the thing I had to learn. Being left is not always about being unworthy, and healing doesn't mean pretending that wound never existed. It means acknowledging the scar, learning its story, and choosing to live anyway. Overcoming the fear of abandonment starts with sitting still in places we once ran from, the ones that scream of loneliness and rejection. It starts with saying to yourself, even if they go, I will stay. That's a powerful promise, to not abandon yourself, to be the one who remains. Psalms 34:18 says, "The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who crushed in spirit." There were nights I repeated that verse like a lullaby, rocking my heart back to safety. Because when people walk away, it was God who stayed. In the quiet, in the heaviness, in the moments I didn't even want to open my eyes. I used to believe abandonment meant I was too much, too emotional, too needy, too soft. But now I see that those parts of me are my strength. They are the parts that love deeply, that care fiercely, that show up with heart. And anyone who doesn't hold space for that was simply not meant to be beside me. If you've ever been afraid to love again, to trust again, I see you. It's scary to open your heart knowing it might get bruised, but it's even scarier to shut down and never feel anything real again. Love isn't safe, but it's sacred, and God doesn't ask us to be hardened, but to heal. There's a big difference. Isaiah 41:10 says, "Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. That verse became an anchor for me, not because it erased the pain, but because it reminded me I wasn't alone in it. Every step I took toward healing was held by grace. Here's what I know now. I don't have to be fearless to keep moving. I just have to be faithful, to believe that love exists beyond the pain, that connection doesn't always end in loss, that some people will stay, some people will mean it, and most importantly, I will not lose myself trying to hold on to what's not meant to be mine. Healing the fear of abandonment looks like breathing deeper when your chest tightens with old memories. It is choosing to answer the phone, to show up for the invite. To not sabotage the good before it begins. It's looking at the mirror and saying, I will not leave you. Because you are worthy of love that stays, love that doesn't shrink you, love that sees your softness and calls it holy. God's love is the blueprint, constant, steady, even present. And even when you root for yourself in that, you stop chasing what was never solid to begin with. You start building on rocks instead of sand. So if today feels shaky, if you're scared they'll leave or you'll be forgotten, I want to remind you of this. You're still here, you're still worthy, and you've got someone who will never walk away. And that, my friend, is how we begin again. The ones who stay. I used to measure my worth by those who chose to stay. And every time someone left, whether slowly or all at once, it felt like confirmation that something about me was too much or not enough. It's hard to explain what that kind of fear feels like. The fear of being left behind. It's a quiet panic, a heart that flinches when people get too close, a nervous laugh to mask the ache of needing someone more than you think you should. But I've learned that healing doesn't always look like confidence. Sometimes it looks like trembling hands held out in trust. It looks like saying, I'm scared, but I'll try again anyway. And in those tender moments, God has always met me. Not with conditions, but comfort. Not with shame, but assurance. Deuteronomy 31:6 says, Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or terrified, for the Lord your God goes with you. He will never leave you or forsake you. I clung to that verse during the loneliest seasons of my life, when friends drifted, when relationships broke, when I sat in the echoes of silence and wondered if anyone ever noticed my absence. And yet, there was God, sitting with me in the quiet, not rushing me to feel better, but letting me feel all of it. It was in those moments I realized something profound. I had never really been abandoned. Not truly. I had only been redirected, protected, preserved. Because there are people in this world who are meant to be chapters, not whole books. There are moments that shape us without staying forever. And even though some people may not have stayed, I did. God did. And that matters. I no longer carry the weight of being left as a personal failure. I carry it as a reminder of how deeply I can love, how bravely I can show up, how fully I can feel. That's not weakness, that's a gift. Psalms 139, 7 through 10 says, "Where can I go from your spirit? Where can I flee from your presence? Even there, your hands will guide me. Your right hand will lead me fast." That's the truth I hold on to when my mind starts spiraling into old fears. Thank you for sitting with me in this space today. If you're carrying the weight of abandonment, I hope you heard something that reminded you. You are not alone. You are not unlovable. The people who were meant to walk with you won't need to shrink, chase, or prove. And the ones who made you was never left your side. As you go forward, may you hold your own hand a little tighter, speak to your soul a little gentle, and remind yourself daily, healing is not about who left, it's about who you're becoming. Until next time, keep your heart open and your faith rooted. This is Radio After Rain.